Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was gonna say I am getting up there in age. I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about extreme frugality and why people think that I'm also very, very frugal. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about my own personal life, and you'll be the judge if I'm on the extreme side of things or if I'm just frugal, or maybe I'm not at all. But it's up for you to decide that for yourselves today. And so, you know, I'm not going to go into the depths of how much income I'm bringing in, but what I will go through is a little bit of personal details about my life, including some of the financial aspects of it. And then you be the judge of whether or not I'm being extremely frugal or just frugal to some degree. Now, for all of you who know me, you know that I rent out rooms in my own personal property. I also have another residence in which it is rented out fully by one person 12 months out of the year, right? And so with that being said, when I look at my own personal property that I currently live in and reside in, I have 3 rooms already occupied, including one that I occupy. There's one room, because it's a 4-bedroom home, that is not occupied, and it's a guest bedroom for my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my friends, when they come over and they need a place to stay. That one room that I'm leaving open leaves about $9,800 on the table every single year, just because I leave it open for family, friends, and everything else. That wouldn't be extremely frugal on that side of things. But on the other side of things, that also gives you an example of how much I'm getting for the other 2 rooms that are currently occupied. And so that helps to cover the expenses of the mortgage, but it may not cover all of the utility expenses. And on top of that, I do work full time, and I also put almost $1,000 on top of the mortgage every single month towards the principal so that I can pay down the house aggressively. Now, a lot of people would say, why would you pay down a house aggressively on a 3% mortgage rate when you could invest that money into the market? And they've seen my stock market portfolio. They know that I'm averaging over 20% returns year over year over year. Of course, it makes sense to just invest that money rather than focus on, you know, paying down the mortgage. But for me, I am terrified. I'm less terrified every single month that goes on, but I'm super terrified at the simple fact that I might be stuck with this huge bill and then I don't have the roommate situation because one thing happened after another. Maybe I get married, maybe I have a child, maybe all these things happen to where I say, okay, I need to have a singular home and make this a family home rather than a house where I am so interested in the financial gain. And so because of that, I understand that this is a ticking time bomb, that although I've had this ticking time bomb for 4 years, it may not last another 4 years. It may not last another, it definitely won't last another 10 years. And so maybe I do have 4 years, but do I have 6 years? That is kind of hard to tell because anything can happen. And as soon as I pop out a baby, I know I'm changing my life forever. Okay. And so it's upon me to know that I want to pour as much as I can into getting this down as much as possible so that when the time does come, I can now focus more on the family aspect and not the financial aspect, because you don't want to be telling your girl or your woman that they have to contribute to these expenses because it's just a lot, right? You want to be able to really handle that on your own. And so having the ability to do that because you're paying things down aggressively also allows you to retire early, like FIRE, right? Financially independent, retire early. Yeah, all those things I definitely associate with. And so I don't want to carry a mortgage for 30 years. I don't want to do that. And so I pay things down aggressively so that my stock markets can carry me into the future, so that my dividend income, my passive income will carry me into the future. And so instead of going on vacations every single month on the month, now I only travel once or twice a year. And yes, I travel, right? So how can I be extremely frugal and then still travel? But the truth is that for the first 4, 5, 6 years of my life, I didn't travel. The truth is, in fact, instead of going back home when I was in college during the breaks, I would stay up and work. I would work, and work. And I did that for years on end. And every single time I would take time away from family in order to work, in order to do YouTube, in order to do so many other things. And so by the time I got to a place in my life where I knew, whoa, I am at a place where I can literally be financially free, is when I started to peel back the layer and I started to say, you know what, family is also important, and let me take some time for that. Vacationing, although I didn't find it as a necessity, my brothers, my cousins, they really told me, they really molded me to say, you know what, you need these experiences in your life to be a whole human being and truly understand how the world works. And so I took that upon myself to say, you know what, you're right. I'm going to invest in me and figure out how this world works for me. And I was so glad that I did that, because now I'm getting to see the world for what it is. Now I'm getting to enjoy other countries. Now I'm getting to enjoy languages like Spanish that I've been learning every single day. And I'm so excited for what the future holds in that regard. But I do it without debt. I do that without tapping into my emergency fund. I do that without tapping into my stock market. I do that strictly through saving money in my checking account that I can spend for those trips when I do go on them. And I'm super excited about the future because of how aggressive I am right now. And to be honest, I am not in a rush. I am not in a rush to stop the process that I'm on. I'm so frugal. I'm so ready to continue to keep diving deep into what I'm currently doing, investing in the stock market, paying down the mortgage, invest in the stock market, pay down the mortgage, invest in the stock market, pay down the mortgage, and also save as much as I possibly can in the meantime. And so I'm not in a rush to have any children. I'm not in a rush to do anything. Honestly, I give myself about roughly 3 years. Some people may say that's a long time. Some people may say that's pretty short. But I'm already 27, going to be 28 by the end of the month. Hit the like button because it's my birthday month, by the way. And guys, when I tell you the consistency, the discipline that it takes to continue to do this for 5+ years, it's insane. But if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.